Appears we are on air, ready to go.
Now, did you print up any extra agendas? I'm sorry. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't realize we started.
Thank you very much. It is 6:30. I'm going to call to order the Board of Assessors meeting of November 20th here in the Bellata Room in Town Hall. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access channel on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page. I'm going to take a page from the Select Board and not read all those addresses. We're going to move on to the next thing. The recording can be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. While an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended nor terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. For remote participation, the meeting ID, Zoom meeting ID, is 817-7658-3638. The pass code, if one is asked for, is 612808. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. I'm going to call us to order and ask everybody to identify themselves. You want to start?
John Rabbit?
Brian LaFond.
Sarah Kammer. Linda McQuaid.
Actually, before we start the meeting, do you want to introduce our new member of the Assessor's Office?
Yes, we have a new member to our department. Her name is Robin Nano. She's a new administrative assessing assistant. And she started on the 12th, and she's doing a great job. She's an asset to the department.
Hi, I know most of you, Sarah.
Hi, it's nice to meet you, Robin.
I've only been here 6 days, so I feel like I learned a lot, and I'm really looking forward to a new chapter in my life here.
Thank you very much, and we are thrilled to have you,
We are.
Thank you very much.
especially based on the feedback we just got.
Very good.
Thank you very much,
Well,
and welcome
all right.
aboard.
Thank you so
And I
much.
do
Have a
want to
good
say,
night.
Rest of your night.
I
Thank
do
you
want to
for
say you're
coming here,
very
Robin.
polite, especially from pain in the butts like myself that keep calling
Well, I won't say that on live TV.
you. Okay, thank you.
Boy, we like her already, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Protects you so well.
So,
Good night, Robin. Thanks for coming in.
thank you, Robin. We're going to open to comments. Are there any comments from the board?
None at this time.
Is that a no or yes?
And myself.
Okay. There are no public in attendance. Is there anyone on Zoom?
I don't see anybody on Zoom. Nope.
Okay. We're going to move on to the status report from the principal assessor.
Okay. I did my monthly report.
No month is complete without one.
That's right. I haven't missed one yet.
It's a,
Thank you.
there you go. Thank you very much.
So, Robin Nano, as you met, she started on the 12th. She's doing great. We do really need the help, so it's excellent to have just another resource in the office just to cover the window and the phone, so, especially with how busy we've been with the classification hearing and trying to get everything done. We did receive the approval for the LA4 and LA15 and Gateway, and approval of our interim values for FY 2025 from the Department of Revenue on October 24th. I made the presentation last night for the classification hearing. It went well. It looks like our tax rate will be $14.37 per thousand. The finance director did indicate that it looks like he's just finishing up on some things, but it's going to be very close to that, which is good. And we did receive 8 abutters lists within the last month.
Those are requests for abutters lists.
Requests for
Okay,
abutter
yep.
lists. The next bullet does have, it's a duplicate, so I will repeat that.
Well, you didn't do twice as much work. Sorry.
And The motor vehicle abatements have actually picked up. I started to show Robin them. We've had 28 that have come in the past couple weeks, so we get started on that. And then commitment number 6 is actually going to probably be going out within the next week. So we'll have another batch of excise tax bills. I actually have that in my pile for you to sign. And Denise, our data collector, continues to follow up on the final inspections and building permits. And yesterday, I started preparing the Y2K camera file for the tax collector. And this is with the assistance of Vision Appraisal and RRC. And Randy Mercier is a consultant that has been hired to help the town. And he actually today was working the whole day on my computer, sorting out the billing and.
So he's working on Vision or Munis, or both?
He's working, not in Vision.
Okay.
He's working in Munis, and I guess there was a bridging issue with personal property, but I know he's been working on it all day, so trying to resolve things. So I don't really know what's happening, but I'm really glad that the town has him, because I think we're going to need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. I have goals for the next month. They are to continue training Robin with the assessing functions. We haven't had too much time, but I want to show her how to do a butters list and motor vehicle abatements, and then we're actually going to start working on the exemptions, because the next meeting we need to have those reviewed. And then we also have chapter land that is coming up on December 1st deadline, so those applications we also need the board to review. So those are my goals.
So.
Actually, the next meeting.
You didn't mention anything about having the tax bills prepared for January 1st?
I can't really commit to that, but depending on what happens.
Our goal is to have all the information available.
Yes, we have done our part at this point, and
Right.
as far as from assessing, we've done everything that
So it's,
we're supposed to do.
it's been turned over and now it's going through Munis.
Yep. Yeah. Our billing files for real estate and personal property matched what we submitted to DOR.
Okay.
So now the rest is on Munis and the tax collector at this point, and hopefully this consultant can resolve some of the issues with Munis. Yeah.
Linda, if I can ask a question as we go through, is that all right? Okay, from what I understand, Munis has had a few hiccups, right? Can you share those kinds of hiccups?
To be honest with you, I can't even really comment on it. We weren't really involved in it, that
Okay.
process, the billing process. We just had submitted the file
Right.
to Mylene and Izzy, and they kind of dealt with it. I know that Randy Mercier did work on the prelim file, and I think that went smoothly, but for some reason, he's having some difficulty with this actual billing file. So I don't really know. I just know that he was tied up all day with my computer, getting into Munis.
Via your computer?
Yeah, he was working remote, so he needed a computer to
Oh,
have
okay.
access to Munis. So he was going through my user ID to get into Munis and to try to get everything to.
Yeah. So they haven't really proofed out the fixes yet on Munis?
No, and I don't really know what the problem is
Okay.
with it.
So normally, when you make these changes and upgrades, I called it a scrub the other night to see whether or not everything was working according to Hoyle. So we really don't know yet what what will turn out.
That's not your.
No.
Oh, I
responsibility.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I know the citizens, they're questioning, what is my tax rate going to be? And which led to another question that you and I shared real briefly today. And so right now, it does look like we've gone from 1437, roughly 1410%, or is it the other way around?
It wasn't
Oh, the other way
roughly,
around.
it was
The other way around.
Roughly, it was exactly 1410 last year, and right now, the number is 1437, always subject to a change, but
Right.
unlikely at this point, based upon the data that we've seen.
So I guess before we mail them out, we're supposed to do some sort of sampling to make sure that the files are actually doing everything they're intended, and it nets out to that bill.
Yeah, we
It-
do typically check some of the bills, and hopefully the tax collector runs a report whatever she does on her side to just see if there's anything that maybe doesn't, I would imagine they would run some kind of report to see if there's any credits or,
So the sample that you're taking, if we're doing about 4,100, it would be, I guess, 375 samples of bills. I don't think we're doing that.
No, but
You're not gonna-
Where'd that come from? Where'd the 375
Oh,
come
you're
from?
looking for 95% confidence level in the billing you're doing. So,
From,
is that, Sarah, would that be right, your?
sorry, is that our responsibility in the Board of Assessors?
It's the tax collector and financial director's responsibility. We also, they will run a file, we will check it, as we did in the spring, to make sure that it says what we thought it should say.
yeah. So we'll
Okay.
probably take a sample and just, like even with the motor vehicle, you can look up a bill and see after,
Okay.
you can go in and make
And
sure.
that's before we do the mailing?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah, I
think,
hope so.
I think once that file is uploaded, we should be able to go in and check,
Okay.
do a bill inquiry and just check and
Right.
make sure it does match.
Yeah, that's it. And if, with your permission, I will go to Carter to share with them what my observations were, and not as an intent to question anything they're doing. It's just that the reality is that,
Don't need our permission.
okay,
You may go speak to Carter at any time.
okay. I just want to, I'm not trying to ruffle anything.
No,
It has nothing.
if you are concerned that you don't think the quality of the billing is good enough, then you need to take that to the town manager and talk about it with him.
Right, the process
We
you
can't
use.
fix that.
Right.
We can evaluate land, real property, other property.
Yeah.
What happens when it goes into Munis is not, I mean,
Uh.
I can tell you that this consultant did say there was no bridge for the personal property. I don't know why that was. He had to.
So I'm sorry, what's bridge mean for personal property?
When the data goes from the vision file, it bridges into Munis. For some reason, he had to create a bridge today because the personal property was not able to be, I don't know if it wasn't able to upload it, but he
It
could
wasn't
not.
recognized.
It wasn't recognized, so he had some technical stuff, but he didn't really get into detail with me what he was doing. I just gave him access so
Right.
that he could get in and do the he's working in the Munis Train program, which is a testing.
Yeah.
So he's testing everything right now.
Okay.
And I do think that the town is in good hands, because he does work with 20 communities, I believe, and he helps them.
He saved our
very
butt
experienced.
last year.
Yeah.
Was the bridge broken last year?
I have no idea.
That
That's
predated
not
her.
something that,
Yeah, because that would affect our overall levy from last year that we do the multiplication on in addition to, right?
no.
No,
It wouldn't?
no, it's done in vision before it goes into
Yeah.
Munis.
Okay.
What happens in Munis,
Okay, I didn't know where it was done. Uh-huh.
our file, our vision file, we get our vision file, we give it to the tax collector, and then the file is put into Munis, and that's when it
Okay, so
goes.
it's just a straight file, so it just wasn't transported over.
No. No.
Okay.
So there's been some issues with Munis. I know Izzy, the finance director, had some issues this past week with vision, so,
For the past couple weeks.
yeah.
Couple weeks.
That's why we had a delay in
That's
getting
why it
the
was so
data.
late, right.
Yeah.
So
He
I-
couldn't provide the data because of Munis.
Yeah, I'm just looking for an explanation if something went awry. How did it happen, and what, are we doing anything to make sure that it's not, as a town, and as an individual
Yeah,
personal
We
citizen?
can't answer that.
I can't
Oh, I know,
answer
I'm just,
So, yeah.
it was never meant as an affront to anybody last
It's
Not
night.
an
not
affront,
an affront,
it's just,
it's just
it's
we're
a
in-
reasonable question.
Yeah.
Don't ask it here because we can't answer it here.
Right.
But if you're going to ask it to the town manager, feel free.
I mean, all I can say to you is this consultant is very experienced,
Right.
so we're in good hands, and I'm sure he'll probably communicate with Izzy,
Yeah,
and if it's a big issue, I'm sure it will go up to
Okay.
Carter.
okay.
But I haven't heard
Even a small
anything.
issue probably will go to
Yeah.
Carter.
I haven't
There we
heard,
go.
I haven't heard anything. I just know he's trying to resolve some problems, and he hasn't really communicated to me what the problem has been. I was
Okay.
just asked to check the counts that showed up in Munis as far as the
Sure.
single family and all that. So I was asked to verify that information with him today.
And if I might also compliment yourself and Sarah, you guys did great last night. You answered all the questions for them beautifully, and you guys were prepared. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Sarah, you too.
It was all Linda.
Well, it was you too.
Nice job.
I have a great team that
I
supports me.
watched it, and it was a great job.
Thank you.
So I'll concur.
I wish I had the vision file because I had them.
I was kicking myself for not thinking of it. Yeah.
Just as a follow-up, I sent a note off to Renee. One of the questions she asked was about Maynard and why they weren't on the list. Maynard, in fact, is at 87.5 RO. So they didn't make our list because we were looking at 90.
Yeah.
They were also number 11 down our list, so we had 7 that were 90 or greater. They were only 4 beyond that, so if we'd actually extended the list, she would have seen it. But we were only doing the 90 as some cutoff.
So they were higher, but, yeah, and then I was prepared for any commercial property. I thought the Walmart question would come up, and so, but it was right down in the office, so I wish I thought to bring it up, but we had
You
all
know.
the information, we just
Right.
didn't have it at our fingertips. So
Good
that is-
preparation, doing as much work as possible up front, and then whatever had to be left the last minute, done at the last minute, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my PowerPoint, for some reason, was, I don't know what was going on with that, but it was taking the data and putting the text together, and I said, and this was like the hour before, and I said, what is going on with this? Did they upgrade it? And
It's always when you have to.
and then it wrapped
accommodate
text.
It was wrapping text
Yeah.
within text boxes that didn't, you couldn't see there were
You
text
couldn't see
boxes.
the edge of it, yeah.
Like, oh,
Oh.
God.
And on my screen, I didn't see it wrapping, but when I went to email it, it wrapped. So- And the issue that I have is that when you copy a picture
Right.
from Excel, we don't have the option in my version of PowerPoint to copy it exactly as a picture, so I couldn't have corrected it. What? Yeah, so that was one thing I was struggling with yesterday was, I didn't know if somebody updated the app,
Yep.
because that's what the plan is, and I didn't.
So you cannot save in a Microsoft PDF?
I
Form?
can't, when I copy something, you know how you have the option in Excel to copy it as a picture?
Yeah.
I don't have that option.
Wow.
It-
Huh,
It's
haven't
just
tried
the
it.
app that I have, so that was something that if I could have done that, which I tried to do it today and I noticed I don't have it.
Still, okay.
But it's
Yeah, there
okay.
were some random zeros and twos that were,
Yeah, there is a
Wrapped.
difference between the desktop and the online version
There
of
is.
Microsoft, yeah. Sounds like you're hitting that.
Yeah, but it all worked out.
just fabulous job, thank you.
Oh, thank you. So that's it for the monthly report. I do have some other stuff.
This is the point.
So I did do a few abatements with Robin, just to kind of show her this. And these are them right here. So they just need to be signed.
The motor vehicles.
Yeah.
This is number 6, commitment 6, you said.
Actually, that's still part of 5.
Oh, this is still
Those are
5.
Yeah, 6 doesn't come out for,
Sorry,
I do have
jumped
6.
ahead.
you did.
I do have 6 right here, which is going to be coming out, so I
Okay.
figured I would have that prepared so that when it is sent out, it's all set. I think there might be 3 copies in there.
1,
You know,
2.
You just prints out so many pages to sign.
You only got 2 in this one.
Oh, 2, okay, that's all right.
Okay. And the total abatement is for $582.
Yep. Yeah, we have a big pile to do downstairs, so we'll hopefully get to that
Next meeting.
by next meeting. So here's another one. I think that might just be 1 or 2 in that pile.
Okay, these are the same ones, all 3.
Just 2 signatures. copies, I guess.
These are all the same.
How much was this one?
$54.45.
Oh, go nuts.
But then there's two things on the next page.
This I need, you did sign this last time, but I had to make a few changes on it. So I just need everybody to re-sign that. And that was for that supplemental bill that we're sending out.
What changed?
What changed?
We've changed the fiscal year to 25. And actually, I might have to,
There's some like weird,
yeah, that one,
okay.
this is another issue I was having today, because I was trying to get this from Rena's. They
Computer.
saved this to a OneDrive, and
It does change
it
things.
just changes everything, so we would like to actually request thank you, an S drive, so that we all have access.
We don't have one?
We don't, we have this OneDrive, but I would rather have the app and work with that, and then if we could set up an S drive where we can go in and get all the documents together, it'll be a lot easier. Because when the OneDrive is just,
What I usually
What do we
do.
have? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What I usually do, if you don't get that drive that you want, is I make a Word document and I link all the docs in there
oh dear, okay.
so that I can find everything.
Yeah.
That might also
Yeah,
be of some help,
yeah, we
if they
do
won't let you.
that,
Because
yeah.
I think some of the goal there is to try to have everything in one place.
Right.
Yeah, there may be some reticence to do that.
Oh, these are just extra copies of the same thing.
No, but you changed it.
You changed the date. But there's some weird formatting that happened too. Let's see.
Oh, I don't like that.
Now, before we leave tonight, I have one of the copies downstairs.
Can I put a period there?
Do you want us to stop
Would you
downstairs
stop
on
in
the way
the
out?
office and just sign
Yeah,
like one of
okay.
that? It's like, I had to kind of recreate this. So I have,
Oh, no. So you need to do
and
that.
that was one of the things I was asking Brian about was, I was thinking about
Oh,
this
and
today with the motor vehicle. If we're in fiscal '25, this motor vehicle's a calendar year, so if we're
Yeah, it gets
collecting on
confusing.
it.
Oh, we're collecting these during 25, so
Yeah.
So
fiscal
So-
25.
we need to
So-
go and sign this downstairs
Yeah,
later?
yeah.
So this
have
is
that.
the wrong year.
I have that down there. I forgot to grab that.
We'll hand it back.
Yeah.
Hand it back to me.
There you go.
Thank you.
Void.
Okay.
Yeah, write void on that, so we don't accidentally do
confused.
something to it. Thank you. Good idea.
Yep. And then the next one
Like birth
is
control.
our commitment
What?
5.
We don't have to worry about that, do we?
That.
There you go, get out of here. I didn't say that.
It's almost 7. Anybody on Zoom yet?
Nobody's on Zoom.
Boy, they don't love us anymore.
That's good.
I'm all right being unloved.
I think they,
Not validation.
no, I think the issue is they now trust us.
Let me see if I have anything
I hope
else.
that's what the issue is. There's only one page to sign here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have the other one downstairs.
We did
Yeah,
jump
we can't meet in your
We did
office.
jump ahead,
Too
by the
bad we
way.
can't, but before you leave. And that's all I have to be signed.
There you go.
We did jump ahead.
I did.
Did we?
Did I jump
We were
ahead?
supposed to do minutes, but
Oh,
I
oh.
haven't had a chance to revise any minutes. If no one else has done that, then
I'm happy to postpone
we'll
it.
postpone the minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
That's just jumping back momentarily.
Oh, okay, okay.
Are we bad?
Thank you for jumping forward. No, no. If you go out to the town website, we are really
I
good.
know, I know.
Really good.
Yeah.
Nothing else?
I don't have anything else. That's it, unless we can talk about the classification hearing, if you want.
Nice
Does
try.
Rena still have hours left this year?
She does.
Okay.
She did not come in this week. She probably will be in next week. I need to get some help with her for some of the exemptions in the chapter land. So she said she would be in on Monday.
Oh, that'd be great. I just didn't, I
Yeah.
didn't know if she had any hours left. I wasn't in the school.
Yeah.
You know, I know she's taking some time, but,
And we definitely will need her when we roll over the database. There's a few things that we need to change, so some
and
splits.
when will we roll over the database?
As soon as the bills go out, we will.
After the bills?
Yes.
Okay.
After the bills go
That
out.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't want a date specifically. I wanted to know what caused it to occur. The bills go out, we roll over the database,
Right now, everything is static. We can't change anything.
right?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman. With regard to the two property cards, which one will be updated with the new numbers?
They're updated right now.
All of them, both of them?
All
Both of
vision
them?
values we've been approved. All the values are updated.
Well, there's two property cards, there's CAI, and
Oh.
there's- he was
Yeah.
asking about the
Right.
two cards.
okay,
They're
yeah.
different.
That I have put in a call to CAI, and the last I heard, they were going to contact Vision Support and try to work with them, because I'm trying to get those property cards with CAI to update weekly, because,
Okay.
Yeah,
but I think it is confusing because we
Yeah.
do have the two.
it is.
Yeah.
And they don't, sometimes they don't match,
No.
so.
Right.
No, I
Don't.
remember that, and we had it so, CII wasn't updating that often, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
They weren't, had not been.
Can I ask another question? Why do we need two? Because of the GIS? Why do we need two?
I think it might be GIS, but I can question it. I always tell people to go to Vision,
Yeah.
and I never give them a copy of that
They add it on their site, they do.
I never print
Yeah.
that out. It's just kind of a summary, but I don't know if there's a way we could eliminate
It
that.
do-
It may
it-
cause less confusion.
It doesn't have as much data,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so it's
often
less complete.
outdated.
Yeah,
It's often outdated.
yeah.
Pictures aren't as good. No, the same picture, I think, but.
Yeah.
So why do we maintain it, and why do we even pay
Well,
for it?
it's one of the services that CAI offers,
Yeah.
in addition to the stuff that we need them to do.
I
Right.
think it's legacy from when we didn't have Vision,
Well,
but I
in
don't
all
know.
likelihood, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I don't know that, but
I don't know that for sure.
So Linda, you'll be asking?
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear. I know the last time they were going to try to work with Vision to get into the server, so,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that it should be weekly. We need them to update that.
right.
And the other thing I need to do is, I'm getting the map updates together, so I have to send those off to CAI so they can update our maps as well. So I'm going to try to do that next week and get the maps sent out too, so.
Tell them not to use gradient.
When do we get maps from them for this year? We got last year's.
Yeah, we need to give them our updates now, and I don't know if it takes a month or two for them to go through the updates.
We should, that's just a reasonable question to ask. I don't know when it's due. I know because our bills went out so late, everything was delayed, the maps came out really late,
Yeah.
but I don't know what
I mean,
on schedule is.
I would ideally like to see the maps the same time, when we mail our bills, when they finally get mailed, to have the maps and that CAI card, if we're going to have it out there, up to date.
Yeah.
That would be my dream.
So in your conversations with CAI, if you could get an idea when that might occur, that'd be great.
The other thing I'm going to ask in our department meeting next week is for planning to notify us when there is changes, because I try to check the Mass Land records, but sometimes if it doesn't get, for some reason, if it's not there, available,
What
if it's
what kind of
A&Rs.
changes are you asking
Well,
about?
like if there's any splits or anything with
Okay.
A&Rs.
Okay.
It would be nice to be included in the distribution so that if things change, we're notified.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we have found
Smart.
things that people come in and, oh, this was changed, and we were never notified, so that's an important piece to make sure it's all matching, so.
Is that the same admin as the land use director?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And there is a new director that just started about a month and a half ago, so.
Chris.
I'm going to see if if I can connect with him and see if we can just be notified that,
Because the land use director attends the planning board meetings, right? Historically.
Yes.
yeah. But we have found a few things in residents.
Not when I was on the planning board, because a land use director
We
didn't exist.
I know you didn't have one. I
That was the
remember-
old days.
I remember when one came on, and that was a good thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. We were just saying something and
No,
my
no.
mouth was running.
So that's one thing we do need to do, just to make sure that we're all getting notified of any
Yep.
changes like that. We kind of assumed we were, but I had a resident come in and said, oh, I said, no, we don't have that, so.
That would be a nice thing for the town manager to organize. The exchange of the information between departments.
So hopefully we have a town manager soon,
Yeah,
as opposed to an interim, because that's not the kind of thing I think an interim
You can
would be
get-
pushing.
yeah.
When I had spoken to Carter a while back with regard to the information distribution portion of it, and he had shared a sample of what he was doing in prior towns in terms of sending out the dispersion of that information, and I know that he was planning on doing it here.
Yeah.
Are you getting those now?
Not for the, we just have a new land use director, so I will connect with him.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
We do have a new director, so I will connect with him, but Carter has done a great job. He's, had some we have a meeting every week, so yes, we are getting information.
He's an old pro. He really, I didn't mean old in that sense, but I
I see.
mean, he's been there, done it, and knows how to handle it, and it's very evident that the
Yeah.
guy's good. The
Yeah,
guy
no,
is
he's
good.
very good, I
Yeah,
have to say.
yeah.
With,
So that's a good segue. Speaking of old pro, happy birthday tomorrow.
Oh, you son of a gun.
We can move on.
Oh, yes, you can. I'm still, okay, question of the group. If 70, 71, 72 is the early 70s, what is 73, 74, 75?
Lucky to get there.
Yeah. Is that, oh, is
No.
that mid?
Mid.
Mid-70s?
You're mid-aged.
Tomorrow.
Mid-age, middle-aged, yeah.
Mid-70s.
I like the middle-aged, okay, thank you. Thank you for answering that.
Okay. Okay, I think that was it, right?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. Fabulous. Assessor conference at the senior center, which is currently scheduled for sometime in February. Have you come up with a date yet?
Yes, February the 3rd at 1 PM, if that's acceptable to the board. That's the only time that they can. There are some restrictions with regard to mobility, transportation. That's why it's in the afternoons.
I'm sorry, what time was it?
1 PM.
1 PM. Do
1
you know what
PM.
day of the week that is?
I think it's,
We have somebody that can tell us.
okay, you got a calendar right there?
Right there, yeah.
Monday.
Monday, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I'll send something out if you can. I'm also trying to recruit some folks in terms of additional speakers. And I did make contact with Margaret Scarsdale, and if she's available, she would love to come. I'm also trying to recruit Pauline to come in because she's...
Who's Pauline? Sorry.
Pauline, what's her last name? Greg, Pauline and Greg.
Maybe her title would be better.
Okay, well, anyway, in either case, yes.
What does she do?
A representative who has the outreach program at the senior center. And making things available and the services that they're providing as well. And if we can get a wide audience, that's the better of it. And then we're more likely, we'll go to the ledger to see what we can get there.
Okay.
And like we did the last one. Yeah, and that's where it looks like right now, if that's okay.
We have a template that should be easy. We did it last
We
year.
did it, yes. So that's it on that part of it.
Okay.
I did actually speak with Robin today, now that we have our new exemptions and the changes. We're going to make up a chart so that,
We have our new exemptions.
yeah.
Oh.
Yep, that we're
With the
voting
exemption
on.
stuff that passed, okay,
Yeah,
yep.
that's passed. We're going to make up a new chart. That's our plan, to
Perfect.
have it just,
Jumped ahead again.
Yeah, you did.
oh, sorry, did I? Okay.
But perhaps that could just get published in the ledger,
Right.
Yeah.
because You know, it's good that we go to the senior center, but we have exemptions for vets as well.
And we probably ought to,
Right.
when we get to the website, talk about the website, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
excellent.
Well, they all sort of do
Merge.
this,
Together,
Yeah.
so I get it. Okay. You want to finish talking about the exemptions, and we'll go?
Oh. You don't want to talk about that after classification hearing?
I don't know, whichever you want to do. What I had here was, after the conference with the senior center, was review the classification hearing.
Okay. Yep. we talked a
Or
little
that's
bit
what you
about
had there.
that. Yeah, I had that.
You put it in this order. Put it in the order you want.
Well, I did add it. You said to add it in, so.
Thank you.
You just didn't say where to add
I
it.
didn't. Call me micromanager. Not.
No.
Classification, hearing, well, we talked a bit about the classification hearing. It went pretty well. I think you did a great job putting it all together. Your comments threw a little bit of a shade at the whole process, so I was concerned about that.
Okay. Is the expression, someone left a, I know, this is a quality term. Us quality guys the purpose is to uncover as much information you can and cause data to come out and be aggressive about it. I used an approach that is the classic, and the expression is throwing a turd on the dance floor. And that's when somebody, marketing is interested in getting something out really quickly. They want to go out and sell it. The engineering department's just barely finished the designs, and it's your job as a quality person to force the testing.
So-
And look for occurrences that will essentially address what is the probability of the occurrence, what is the impact, as well as the ability to detect it. And those were the questions I had. And as I pointed out, I said the probability of occurrence, we've had one.
We heard
Yeah, you heard it.
Heard it all.
We heard the presentation. Don't need to hear your
And so
presentation again.
that was the intent, to cause someone to say, yes, I've done a scrub, and this is what we found. I didn't get anybody saying they did a scrub. So that's why I want to continue to follow up with Carter.
So, first, you suggested we delay. When none of us were asking for a delay, the board had not asked for a
I
delay.
hadn't seen your email, I apologize.
No, the board had not asked for a delay. We came to a conclusion that we were going to move forward unless we heard something different. And I don't know why you picked that time to unilaterally say, I think we should delay for a week, because that was not the position of the board. So you were not reflecting the position of the board at all.
And I
Thank
clearly
you very
stated in
much.
the very beginning that I was a member, but I
Well-
was not speaking for the board.
You-
I said that very clearly,
Get
right
that?
up front, right?
I get
Didn't
that.
I?
You're still a member, though. You
Yeah,
can't not be a member.
I'm still a member, but I wasn't
You
speaking
can't
for the board.
distance yourself from the board just by saying, well, this is my thing, You can either agree with the board or not agree with the board, and we agreed as a board to do something, so that's what we need to do, instead of running off helter-skelter.
Now, I will not agree to the fact that it ran off health as
It did.
It
We
did.
never said, none of us,
And
Ever
I
agreed to
excluded
a
myself
one-week
from the board.
del-
I
No,
let
you were allowed to speak at that meeting.
Yes.
Because you were a member of the board.
right.
At that point, it was board members speaking.
It wasn't public
because the
comment at that point. I watched the whole
The
thing.
chair of the Board of Select Board asked if you would like to speak, and asked after public comment, because there was no public comment
Yeah.
at that point, because it was a hearing, asked you to speak. And the only reason they asked you to speak was
that point.
because you were a member of this board.
Because maybe I raised my hand as well? Did that mean that you don't, after any kind of a discussion, you allow the public to have a speech, right? I
No.
raised my hand.
No, you don't. Not usually, not during a hearing.
Yeah,
They asked for public comment, but
They did.
you had predated that. So you were still, representing the board. My concern is, we come to an agreement at this table, all three of us.
yes.
And you go off and do something else. And you've done that several times to us, which makes it very difficult to depend on anything.
Okay, Okay, I'm aware of two incidences, including this one
Yep.
and the prior one, in which we went to the town meeting for the 40, the amendment on the
Yep.
deferral, not the deferrals, I'm sorry, the E and F and 17D and 41. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Those two.
There's at least
those
a
are-
third.
There's a third. What's
There's
the
at
other
least
one?
a third.
What's the other one?
At the meeting, the first meeting in September, you two were there, I was not, but you agreed to put 3 things on the top page of the website, and you didn't do it for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. When I finally asked you why you hadn't done it, you said, "'Cause I didn't wanna."
Yeah.
So, you know what, if that's the case, I can't depend on you to do the things that we all agree to do. So it feels,
I
it's
didn't-
feeling very,
I did not want to, okay, you want to rehash all 3 of them now?
no,
okay
we
with
can,
all
we
doing all
can,
3
we
of
can
them.
go, it doesn't, the point is, one of
It
the
was
things we
fundamentally
talk
wrong.
about is communication.
Yeah.
And
And
you
quality
just run
control.
off by yourself and do things. You had 5 months, you first took over the 41, let's look at the exemptions, in June. You had 5 months to do all kinds of research.
Yes.
And what did you do research? You did research the day after our last meeting, when we had no other meetings. You made some calls and changed the slides. So you had 5 months to get it right, and then did it the day before. By the way, there were 3 errors on the slides, but nobody had time to check them because you did them at the last minute.
You were making some suppositions without data.
No,
right now.
no,
I can tell you that
no,
I
there was-
shared this with
No,
Linda that
no,
morning.
no.
So-
Because the thing is, we sat at a meeting
Yes.
with the slides that you
Yep.
prepared.
Yep.
All of us.
Yep.
You, me, our chair.
Right.
Linda, Rena.
Right,
We went and we went through slide by slide
yes, you did.
and proposed changes.
And you
And
even-
you agreed to them. And I don't care which changes, who they came from. It doesn't matter at that point, after that point. If you agree to them, it's everybody's changes. That you then left the meeting, the next day said, I don't remember what we did. Please, anybody have any issues? I replied, yes. Next thing I know, there's another email that says nobody replied, go ahead.
Okay,
And I replied again, and you said, this is not substantial. Excuse me, yes it is.
No, it wasn't.
You did
Okay.
not do what you agreed to do in the meeting.
Now, may I have a
That
turn?
is, no, I'm not
Okay,
done.
you keep going.
That's not acceptable. Then when I said, look, I don't have anything to add, because why would I bother to add anything? You've disregarded what we've added as a group already, and you went and you talked to somebody else,
I did.
unilaterally decided, this doesn't make any sense to me. Went and changed everything, well, not everything, you changed a few things. And then asked
And I
again.
added quite a
for
bit more
you-
data
and then
to
you-
it. Go
yeah,
ahead.
You should not be adding additional things to things that have been decided at a meeting as a group. That's not right. You then presented it in front of town. You took up time from our assessor on that meeting day to go over it. She probably had other things to do. I don't want to speak for her.
I did.
But probably had other things to do. And then we kept getting emails throughout the weekend about something that was supposed to be minor edits, then submitted. That's ridiculous. It's unprofessional. It completely lacks all the things you espouse about quality
Okay.
control.
Okay.
I don't understand why you don't get that.
You know, we
And
have a
that's not
difference,
the
we have
first
a
time.
difference in
And
terms
that
of
is not the
expectation
first
with regard
time.
to what is being a professional.
Well,
We do.
Yes,
If
we
you have a
do.
project, if I was assigned the project and I noticed that I was a difficulty that was going to occur, I took preventive action. I called, after you got through, I went and started playing with it. I said, let me go and look at the video, right? The video was not up, was not available. So I had some notes. I had your little sections in there that I'm saying, how does this really fit? I also had Brian's input in terms of the direction of the arrows. I said, let me go and talk to my buddy. So I went and called up Becky at DOR. I said, Becky, tell me more about this. What do I need to try and make sure we sell it and we get what we're going after? She came back, said, Jack, all you have to do is, what's that?
at some point I'll be speaking.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Okay, so anyway, she comes back. Jack, all you have to do is somehow demonstrate that they've got to pass these three to get those two. That caused me to change the direction of the arrows, right? Then I came back and I realized, we haven't put any data down there that's going to put the public at ease with regard to how is it going to affect their tax rates? What's going to happen? So that whole section I introduced. I unilaterally, because we didn't have any follow-up meetings, I didn't have any time, and that's when on Monday morning, right, you and I got together,
Yeah, and Jack.
and you made one tweak to
Yeah.
it. Then, when I took it up to Carter made a couple of tweaks. He says, fine, go with it, right? Now, but let's step back, Sarah, from the very beginning, from the very beginning.
Wait.
What?
You run off at the mouth for 20 minutes, and then no one can respond, and you're going to go on to something
Well,
else?
I want
Are you
to
on to
fi-
something else?
No, I'm on the same
You're
topic.
on to something else.
I'm on the same topic.
No, you're not.
I'm talking
You're talking about these articles.
I'm talking about
You're talking about
this
the articles.
particular article.
You're talking about the articles we presented at town meeting. That's what you're talking about right now.
At town meeting, there was only one that we presented.
There was one article.
Well, there were three components.
I get it.
Okay, so what happened in the very beginning? Now, let's talk about how we could have done
Very
this
beginning of
better.
what?
When I first came in and I produced it, you weren't there, the chairman, Sarah was being chairman. Sarah came back, made some comments, we took it, and then Sarah, you held on to it. You held on to that document. I did not see that until it showed up on the warrant that you gave me, the preliminary warrant. It did not have anything with regard to our cost of living, even in the title. It was shifted around. The matrix that you had built in yours was spread all over in 14 different directions. It did not make sense.
So just
Right?
for 1 second there, Jack, I didn't hang on to anything.
You
I
passed
said-
along to somebody.
No, I said, for one thing, September 4th, you arrived with a bunch of documents. They were not in the shape of a warrant article. It needed to be submitted by the following Monday. So I sat there and drafted the article in our open meeting.
Right.
That shouldn't have happened to begin with. It should have been written and distributed, and then we would be reviewing it in open meeting. But it needed to get done, so I sat there drafting it. I definitely didn't sit hanging out with an article. I took what we wrote up in that meeting, and as I said I would do,
Yeah.
I sent it to everybody on the board. That's what I did. The other part, Linda took, as we declared in open meeting, by the minutes that you also approved, by the way, and she went and she talked to Carter about them. I did nothing with the rest of that article.
Who did the wording
So I
changes?
don't know where you're getting that information.
I was blind to all
I
that.
did not hide a darn thing.
I don't think you
Everything
did.
I do is
Well, you
in
said
open
held on
meeting.
to, which,
No, that's not true. And we did go through this. We sat and reviewed this, and we told you to switch the arrows on, I believe it was the November 6th meeting.
Yes, you did.
And that was due on Thursday to Carter.
Right.
The deadline was Thursday. You came into my office on Wednesday morning, the day of the town meeting.
Right. Because
And
Tuesday was
totally-
a holiday. Tuesday was a holiday.
Monday was
Oh,
Monday.
was a
Tuesday,
holiday.
Tuesday,
I came in on
excuse me.
Tuesday.
But totally disrupted our office. I sat with you, I made some corrections, and then you brought it up to Carter, and everyone around here was stressed out trying to get that done. I
Mm-hmm.
know Annie was working on it, but it was the day of the town meeting, and you were supposed to have it to Carter on Thursday.
And
the
I
following-
was not alone, by the way, just as a side note. I was not alone, because there were two other presentations that were getting jockeyed around.
That's
Right? And the
irrelevant.
fact that
It shouldn't have been that way.
I mean,
wouldn't have been nice, wouldn't have been nice.
No.
If, okay, so I put the date in.
when do
and
I get a turn? By the way, just let me know when you're done.
Okay, you go ahead and I'll come back and respond.
So, this was a project. If you approach it as a project, there are two things that you really need to be concerned with. The schedule of events and how that's going to occur, knowing that you have a dead date, drop dead date. You have 5 months to do all that work, and you called the day after our last meeting to get some more information, doing more research. There was plenty of time for that research to have been done in the prior 5 months. I don't know why it had to take place the day after. The other thing about a project is, as the project leader, sure, you take the lead, you show us what you want to do. We, as a team, work on it together, and the result is what comes out of the team You as a project leader, this is what comes off the team, not what you as a project leader says, oh, I don't really care what they said, I'm just going to arbitrarily change what I want. So it feels like I can't depend on, when we make a decision, that you're going to follow it.
Are you going to fire me?
I'm not.
Okay.
I also.
All I know is okay, are you done now? You done, Brian?
I-
Are you done? Okay. What was produced was not working. It just simply wasn't working. We didn't get to the citizens and tell them how we get so enamored with all the
You were the
wording.
project leader, why wasn't it working?
Because I never got it to the point where I said, I got to really sit down and look at that. And then after I talked to Becky.
You knew about the drop dead, you knew about the town meeting, you knew that was
yeah.
going to occur.
Yeah.
You knew we had no time before that.
Right. But
So as the project
and
leader,
so
what are you
after
going
the
to do?
meeting, we did, Brian, we finished the meeting, right? The following day, I went back to work on it, to
Why?
make the other pieces.
Yeah.
And guess what? The stuff wasn't there. I had the notes, and Sarah, your little blurb section, I reworded that, fit that in. Brian, I got yours in, and I added a whole pile of data with regard to the impact of the piece. Why?
That was unilateral. It
That was unilateral on my
That was
part.
not
Put
a
it in.
team. So you've said before, we're a good team, that is not teamwork. That is not teamwork. That is an individual running off on their own doing stuff. And
That
good
is
luck.
That is an individual who's trying to make sure we get
You
the
could have done that
product that we're
the
delivering.
prior 5 months. You had 5
I don't
months
know
to do
about
it.
5 months, but I don't.
You started in June, we ended in
I didn't
November.
even want it in June, and that's when you came back and said, hey, you own this piece. And I said, okay, I'll
I
do
didn't
that.
say that, I said, would you agree to take that because
Yeah.
it's an
And I
area
agree,
of interest.
and I
to
should have
you.
never said I didn't want it, because the
If
reality
you
is,
didn't-
I
if-
do want that.
if-
I do
well-
want that section. Okay, by the way, I requested that this be done in executive session.
It does not warrant executive session.
I would
It's-
disagree with you.
I had it, I passed it by Carter and I passed it by town council. We cannot have this
With
discussion.
regard- If you're going to come back and publicly impugn me.
Well, no, we
with regard-
weren't.
You just did.
Well, and where did that start?
We kind of felt like you did that to us yesterday because
Again.
when you
Yeah.
came into my office last night before the meeting, you said, are you all set? I said, I'm all set. And then after I presented, you came up and I would never have,
Okay.
the data that I went through, I reviewed it with Brian. We were all set. I
Right.
pulled it all together.
And
I sat with Sarah, and it was good to go. But then you got up there after I made the presentation and kind of
Right.
ruined the credibility of my work because...
No, excuse me.
In a sense, you did.
I questioned the credibility of the entire process. I made sure that clearly that I was not speaking as a member of the board. I did not represent the board. So I attempted to put as much distance between, because my question is with regard to the entire process. And yes, I was worried for you because I had called you that morning and said, do we have the numbers yet? Because it always evolves into what is the tax rate going to be? That's what happened last year. And even though the purpose of the meeting was to determine whether there's going to be a split rate, it always ends up talking about the tax numbers, the numbers themselves, right? And we had just got them, and they're still changing. Tom Alonso made the same point in that meeting. He said, I get it, this one, and now I look and there's another set of numbers all over the place. So that
I
was...
did not
what he
get,
said.
I did not
What
get
did Tom
that
say?
from Tom Alonso.
Oh,
He asked about percentages.
Yep.
That's what he asked about.
He says, I
He
look at-
did not question the credibility of the entire process. In fact, after you spoke and said that you were wondering about the numbers because of previous assessment issues and this could happen all over again, like we didn't have work with vision, that our office was not going and checking on houses, checking on sales, checking on sales, doing all that stuff, that we didn't have a meeting where we looked at all of those numbers. The only thing that changed on the day of were the numbers from the finance board. And we had that as a blank on here.
You had
that we
estimates.
approved. We left them as a blank because we did not have the numbers at our last meeting. with the understanding that when finance came through, we would plug them in, and then we would have our rate, and it would be done. That is the only thing on the entire, how
What
many
you told
slides
me,
is
Linda.
this? How many slides is this?
It's slide-
17.
It's slide 10 out of 17.
What
It's-
Out of
you told
17.
me.
one
It
slide.
is one
Number 10.
slide.
That morning.
It is one
that you
slide.
were
That is
putting-
the only thing that changed. And you acted like the entire credibility of the entire process could be questioned. That is ridiculous. It undermines all of the things that we've been doing on this board
This
for
is
a
so
year.
Classic, okay.
Classic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
somebody
classic
that doesn't want them
disrespect to
looking
the
at it says,
work.
oh, you're gonna slow me down, or
Are
you're
you
gonna distress
kidding
it.
me? Of course I want to look at
It's
it.
our job to make sure the numbers are right to our
Yes,
system.
it is.
we do
And it is
everything
your
we
job
possibly
to
can.
approve, not approve at a meeting. Our last assessor meeting, it is your job not to approve
When I spoke
if you
with
do
Linda
not
that
feel like
morning,
it is
you said you were
right.
putting estimates on that sheet.
It would have been
saying this is
fine if you
estimates.
said,
wait,
it would have been
wait.
fine if
They're
you said,
always
I'm concerned about page
estimates.
10.
And I appreciate this
Let's-
variation on that
let's
number.
take a tone down a little bit.
Sure.
That is always an estimate. If you
Yeah.
do any classification hearing, that number that we just talked about is an estimate. It's always going to be an
There'll
estimate because
always
it's
be an
not set.
adjustment.
So you can't say, oh, it's just an estimate. It is the estimate. It is the process. That is how it happens. So
The big thing is that the finance director hasn't submitted it to DOR. Their portion, our
Right.
portion was approved.
Right,
He hasn't
and-
submitted to DOR, and they may make some changes to it, so it may fluctuate by a couple cents.
Right.
But we always have to say it's estimated. And I got my levy from him at, I think it was 145.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had that number, and then I just went through my report, and I spent quite a bit of time with Brian scrubbing this,
Right.
because I would never deliver
So that-
something.
This is new information to me.
Well, this was yesterday afternoon.
So, but you jumped up and basically cast aspersions on the whole process, and
Yeah.
something my dad taught me a long time ago. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk. That's what I try to do. I don't always do that, but that's what I try to do. In this case, you didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, that's not true, but.
You didn't know what you were
That's not
talking about
true.
because you cast aspersions on basically that whole package.
I cast aspersions on the entire process.
That would be the whole package.
No,
Yep.
not
Yes.
just yours, your piece. And Linda, you did a great job on that, and nice job. But I'm casting aspersions. If you have a difficulty, right, and all of a sudden you're making fixes just before you're announcing taxes, and you're still having problems with your mainframe piece, you should explore that and understand it and give us an answer. Give us a full answer. Don't just say, well, it happens, we're making this. How did it happen?
How did
How
what
did it
happen?
happen?
I'm
You
not even
can't-
sure what
Have
you're
you ever
talking
been in the
about.
Navy?
Don't
Have you
hit
ever
me.
been?
Don't
I'm
hit
sorry,
me.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Don't hit me.
Okay, I won't hit you.
Were you in the Navy?
Actually, in JROTC.
ROTC.
That's it, yeah. Okay,
You were in college? Okay.
no, actually in high school, started in high school. Okay, but in either case, if you have a deviation from what is expected, even though it may still be inside the control limit, you should be investigating and understanding that.
But
right?
Jack,
And we don't. We
But I-
don't do that. We don't even have, are there written procedures anywhere?
You're not in this office every day. You don't know what the finance director does. I work with the finance director,
Yeah.
and I work with the town manager and myself. We all worked together yesterday afternoon, and this was all pulled together.
Right.
And then it was reviewed by Brian. Brian and I went through it, and then Sarah came in last night. So we did everything we were supposed to do, and we were ready to go last night.
How many transactional steps in this whole process, do you know? You probably don't know.
I
You
just
probably-
know
You
that,
just do them, it's pretty simple. You do the multiplication times the reliability of each function occurring. Usually, computer systems, they don't make mistakes, somebody programs.
So I'm
So-
gonna call an end to the quality control discussion because it's not gonna get us anywhere.
Okay.
It's not gonna get us. What I want to talk about is communication and dependability, and when we vote on something and we work as a team, what does a team mean? Because that we can control.
Okay.
And what does a team mean? Right now, it doesn't mean much.
So if you enhance something the team has generated, and you're at the last moment, you have no one to turn to, it's not like this is a five-person
You
team
had
where I can go.
5 months.
I can't,
Why did it take till the last Day after the last minute.
Because I realized the final
It was
product
the
wasn't
day
gonna
after the
sell.
last
It
minute.
wasn't gonna deliver what we
Well,
wanted to
then
deliver.
you didn't provide what you were supposed to provide, project leadership. Sorry. Not my fault. I didn't do it.
And the,
I'm sorry. I have to call it as I see it, and
Okay.
you had the opportunity to run this project for 5 months, and the day after we voted on what we were going to do, you changed it. Well, thank you. I know how much I can depend on you for other projects then. I'm
I
not
can
at all.
depend on you never to call. I can depend on you to
Never to
play by the,
call?
no, with regard to, say, Jack, come back and take a look at that or something. Never mind, Brian, never mind. I don't want, I value my friendship more than,
You can count on me to reply and respond in
Sarah.
open meeting, as we are supposed to do
yeah.
for all discussions.
And I asked folks, is any of the things that I'm presenting wrong technically? Is there anything wrong, right?
That's
And
the
that-
weekend after our meeting? Yeah.
We met,
There's
met,
nothing we
was
should be
it
tweaking
Wednesday.
after that
Wednesday?
point.
And it was due on Thursday.
Right, imagine that. And I got the thing, and I got your changes again.
But on
And-
that Monday, you came into my office, and I gave you some corrections
It
of
was
things.
Tuesday, because Monday
It
was
was
a
Tuesday,
holiday.
Monday was a
Tuesday, I'm
holiday.
sorry, I keep
It was a
saying
holiday.
that, because it was the holiday.
Right.
But I corrected it, some things that I saw that were wrong, but that was some
Then you
more-
changed, we dropped one word, and there was some little thing at the end,
Yeah.
SP or something at the end of the
It
present
was
piece.
not,
And then I had to run back to the house and made the changes, loaded them as a PDF so they wouldn't wrap. I have the same problem that you do with it wraps. And so then I brought it in. Carter says, oh, we can't handle a PDF. Okay, fine. He actually did me the favor and fixed the two little fixes, and he says, looks fine, let's go. And that's what happened. I was up against the wall. You can give me the business all you want about the fact that you thought it took 4 months. I don't know. All I know is I did do a pile of research on it.
When did you first take responsibility for?
I don't know. If you
It
say
was
it's 4, I
June.
believe you.
It was June.
June, okay.
Yep.
I believe it. And so, you know what? I put a lot into this, and I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is it wasn't going to work. I stepped in, I caused that change to happen. And yes, I did go back to this meeting the other day. As I addressed it, I wanted to address it from a whole perspective. I would love to see the fact that the procedures, I can tell you the selectmen have been asking for procedures now, process procedures.
That's where it has
right?
to come from.
And where is it? Where are they? It's not being produced, right? So I'm challenging them with regard to, you know what? You're going to create some sort of variation on something, but did you do the following things? We got burned so badly. I have a lot of friends that were devastated 2 years ago. I mean, I had people crying on the phone with me. Okay, so I'm never going to I can't let that happen again. I can't, right? And so I'm vehement about the process itself, and I'm being vehement about making sure that we deliver the things that we need to deliver to our seniors, and I'm doing everything I possibly can. The only reason why I'm on this board right now is those 2 reasons. I want to help the seniors, and I want to make sure my friends are protected. I am off this board as soon as I achieve, there's one other thing I want to achieve, and I'm done. And that's my 1 term, and that's it. But, those are my objectives, and I feel badly that I caused anybody any pain, because that's not part of my mantra, is never to hurt anybody. So anyway, if you don't think I'm a trusted team member, which you've just said, Brian.
I did.
You just did say that.
That
Then
was
I
hard
have,
to say,
I
by the
have,
way. It was very hard to say.
yeah.
But I have to tell you.
I'm surprised at that. But in either case, I will make sure that I will be very trusted to deliver exactly what I said. And I will do what I can. But seriously.
I'm just kind of surprised that you keep bringing up 2023, but we have these meetings
Today.
and we go through everything.
Uh-huh.
Every meeting, I go through everything we do.
Yeah.
So that should kind of give you some assurance that,
Oh, I have
That's-
total
that's not
confidence
gonna
in you.
happen.
I had total confidence. You and I went through those numbers, and that's where you came up with the 190, whatever that number was, that we did the division together,
Yep.
right? Going
Yep.
through there.
On the tax
And then you came back and said, oh, I got to include the abatements and things like that. I went so far as to pull it down to make sure that, yeah, we did it the right way. I went back and did that, and it was a 1.91.
yeah, and then when Brian, in the afternoon, he reviewed it, just because it's always good to have a second set of eyes,
Oh, yeah,
so we,
and that's why.
I
we
corrected
did it.
grammar. No.
Okay. So, it's not like we're sitting here, but it's not like I'm working on this every day of the week. You know what I did this afternoon? I raked leaves. You know, I derived a tremendous amount of enjoyment out of that.
Tried to burn your house down.
Yeah, I know, that's another thing. But in either case, I'm trying to be as active a member as I possibly can. I bring questions back to the meeting. I question, in this meeting alone, one of the things we've got, and I still have some more to add to this meeting. With regard, I went back and researched the data file that sits at DOR, and I looked at the methodology that they used, and then I had Becky send me I sent you guys the copies of the links that we're asking them to fill out with regard to making sure we have the 41D. The 41D from back when, that they don't have recorded, and I made sure, sent them the
We
41A.
never did a 41D before.
Well, you don't have to. The reality is the 41, no, I'm sorry, 41D, I'm sorry, I'm thinking 41A. 41A, you don't have to.
Well, so 41A, that's another thing. During the presentation of 41D, 17E and F, you had to bring up 41A, which just started to confuse people, and thank God, Tim said, is that before us? No? Okay, thank you, let's move on.
Right. You're right. I threw that in there
It-
because I'm
why?
trying to get folks thinking that maybe I don't have to lose my house. I've got another
Just-
candidate, by the way.
Wait, so, that wasn't what you were there for. It
Yeah.
wasn't what you were there for, representing the board. But you decided to throw that in there. So that's another
Yeah.
instance of you kind of
Right.
going rogue. And there are just many instances
Well,
of you
maybe
going rogue. and
next time they won't elect me because people know me as going ahead. I'm there for them. I will do whatever I can for them.
Yeah. So when you're there to present 17E and F and 41D, there's no reason to bring up 41A, none. It doesn't help, and everybody's gonna go, what's that mean? What does 41A?
Well, you're saying exactly the opposite of more than 5 people have told me. They love the presentation, they love
I
the
thought the
fact.
presentation, thank God, was short and sweet and to the point,
And it
and
gave the
only
people
started to
data.
go off at the end, when you
When
went on
I
41A.
talked about the deferral piece, and folks were working on that. I'm trying to create an awareness, but it did the job. People liked what I came up with. They loved the fact that the data was there. They liked the fact that essentially you're telling me how much this is going to cost me. That wasn't in any of it, and you guys participated in that, and you didn't bother to bring anything in like that, and we all missed it together. So don't get me going when all of a sudden, holy crap, we missed that portion of it.
I wasn't the project leader on that, you were.
Okay. And I
Sarah
realized-
wasn't the project leader on that, you were.
And I wasn't asking you, but I'm saying, I realized that,
You just-
and I was up against the wall, so
We
I
just-
took that opportunity to make it complete. You can shake your head all you want.
No,
But the
the-
I
reality.
can shake my
You
head
can't,
because
and
I
it's your-
follow the rules of open meeting.
Yeah.
And when I speak, I speak about what the board decided together.
Right,
So
right.
yes, I am shaking my head at
And-
you because you still are not getting that.
Oh, I'm getting it.
And you think you're
I'm telling you, I'm
justified
telling
in
you,
behaving the way you are.
Don't give me any more projects then. That's the easy part. But the reality was, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I can deliver my project on time. And if you've been a project manager, right?
Of course.
Yeah. What is the requirement? You deliver it on time to specification, right?
With-
And if all of a sudden the last moment-
With your team.
If at the last moment something changes and you can't have the ability to get a hold of your team
So I
and
just-
cause a meeting to happen, you gonna let the project fail? you wouldn't do everything you possibly could to make sure that project
I wouldn't let it
passed?
get in that situation, but that's just
Well,
me.
that's good for you, good for you.
Where are we? No, I mean, are we done with this conversation, or we want to continue with this conversation? I'm okay with doing either.
I'm feeling that we could just continue on with the agenda.
So I think we've said everything we're going to say about the classification hearing,
Yes.
And
and I need,
the articles?
the articles went through.
So we're going to be putting
At town
something up
meeting.
on
Yep.
the website?
We're going
Or
to
is that
be,
what you-
I would like to design some kind of either a brochure or a chart with the 41D, because we've got to stick, we can't have COLA, obviously, we've got to stick by those base
Right.
income and exemption amounts that apply to the 41D.
Well,
Well,
17,
if I'm not stepping on
Go ahead.
toes, I have a thought about that. We were implementing COLA even though we shouldn't have been implementing COLA for all those limits. So today, if we had actually accepted COLA back when we were supposed to have, what number would we be at? And could we go back to town meeting and have that as our new starting point for future reference?
I'd like,
Yeah.
okay, to answer the question, we have the right of the town to vote whatever number we had.
I think it's
When-
true.
When we came back and we looked at where we were in comparison to the other towns, they had probably been applying the COLA. So we chose a number, we chose the $1,000 to go with, and we bypassed all the
The
other.
$1,000 wasn't the COLA.
No.
No, it wasn't the
No,
COLA.
no, don't get confused.
I'm saying we jumped to catch up, so we created a baseline. And now we apply the COLA for the new, from the new baseline of $1,000. And that, what was that?
So,
No.
we're talking about two different things.
Yep.
Okay,
There's our 17, right? Which is before COLA. And so I think the chart you're looking for is what the base level assets are and the base level income.
income.
okay, those.
Jack, what you're talking about is the amount
Of the
of the
exemption.
exemption,
On the 41.
which we
Fixed.
fixed.
Next.
Yeah.
So we fixed that. So let's
But it
But it
assume that's
wasn't
fixed.
illegal. We did it legally.
Well, we fixed that, so that's all set. We
It's
just,
185.
we were applying COLA inappropriately, so we fixed that. We applied COLA. We went back to the last approved baseline for income, assets, and the exemption on one of them. I'm suggesting that maybe during next town meeting, we could change that baseline, knowing that we will still have COLA thereafter, and that way, we won't be always behind. So, I'd like us to look into how we go about it. I think it's fairly easy, and then we'd have to figure out how to sell it and how expensive it would be, but I don't think it's gonna be very expensive. It just changes the limits for income, assets, and in one case,
So
exemption.
our town meeting is typically the
May.
first weekend in May.
Yep.
The Saturday of, it'll be Saturday the 3rd then. Looks like we close about 6 weeks. Our
Oh,
warrant,
before the warrant, yep,
like 6 weeks.
yep. Put
So
you in
that puts us
March.
at the end of March. And to avoid the situation we find ourselves in now, we should not be working on this in March. We should have it resolved by the end of February.
Right. Right.
So if we're going to do that, then we need to propose what we want to do probably at the beginning of January.
Yep.
Resolve it and write it up the first week of February, review it the second week of February, and send it off to our whoever our town manager is.
I agree.
So it was my thought as we were going through this, how we should go out fixing. Because there are going to be a few people who no longer qualify, who qualified before because we were using the wrong numbers. Won't be very many,
No.
but there'll be a few. So if we then rectify that for this spring's town meeting, then we are basically making everybody whole for all the COLA stuff that we should have done right along, if we had actually accepted it formally the way we should have. And we would have increased the limits as we did last time for the exemption amount and reduce the age. So then I think we're pretty whole on the 41s and the 17s. I'm not addressing any of the other ones, just those two. Right, the 41s, with the exception of 41A, which is something you want to keep pushing, and I think that's a really valid thing, and I think you should be doing that. I'm not saying you shouldn't have been talking about 41, I'm just saying you shouldn't have been talking about it at that meeting. You should be talking about 41A and shout it to the rooftops. Take it to the senior center in February. If we can get somebody before that, great. Do whatever research we need to do to figure out how to make it implementable, because right now, nobody's using it.
The 17s and the 41, no one is using it, right?
No one's been using the 41s at all, and the 17s were used a couple of years ago, but not this year. So, you know, it's not like,
You mean no one's been using the 41A because they have been using the 41C?
no one's been using the 41A, and no one's been using 17s.
Right.
Right, right.
I think that's what I tried to say, if I didn't
You
say it
said
right.
41, I just wanted to.
Oh,
the
I see.
41.
That's
okay, I just.
No, you're right.
Being specific.
You're right.
Yeah.
I should have been more specific, but, so, right now, people are using 41C and D. No one's using any of this stuff.
So for the next meeting, I wanted to have an executive session to go through the exemptions so that we can get ready to put them in
Oh.
for the tax bills. And I asked Rena if she'd come in on Monday and we'll start going through them.
Okay.
So for 2025, we're going to use the 41, we're going to use the $1,000 for the 41C, and we're going to go by the income and asset limitations that were just approved at town meeting.
Right.
And also
With the
age.
COLA
So the
increase.
column piece.
I didn't think we could add the COLA until 25, after July.
You may be right, I'll check, we
That's
can
what
check that.
That's how I
And
understood
actually,
it.
our
Well, that's
article
what we
says for
told them.
2025.
25.
Yeah, we told them that it'd be
Yeah.
25.
So
so
we
you're
have
right.
to stick by those just this year, and then we can add the COLA.
But if we were to amend our baselines in the spring, then that would be the new baseline, so we'd have effectively implemented COLA anyway.
Right.
Okay.
And you mean,
See-
by baseline, you meaning the income and assets, is that
It
for
was
the,
income and assets, well, one of
for
them was
the,
an exemption too.
for the 17?
Which one was in the exemption amount? It was income,
Yep.
assets, and exemption, one of them is exemptions. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah,
It's 17D.
I think that was, yeah,
17E,
income
I
and
think is-
asset.
Income and assets, I think F is the,
Exemption? I think that's right too, but I don't want to quote
but
it.
I have it written down somewhere.
yeah.
I have a presentation someplace, but I don't.
Well, actually, it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah, because you put income and exemption together in two places.
Yep.
I took it out
Nope.
for the town meeting. It was taken out.
I believe you took that out.
I took it out because that was the thing that you-
The copy that I had
I don't
had it
think
in
it
there,
made it.
so that's.
Yeah, that's the copy I took to Linda that morning. I said, Linda, what am I missing? There's something that's, and then you said, yeah, it's not two words, it should just be the one.
Yeah, you
And
had-
so that's what caused me to make the other
So
changes.
I never saw the final copy, I guess. So the
I
copy,
thought we sent it out, but maybe.
the last copy that I got had them both, in both places. So anyway, we want to try to move forward. If you want to try to help the elderly, which I think is a valid thing to do, it's a great thing to do, and we can potentially revise the baselines for the town meeting in the spring, and have everybody be whole by then. So there'll be 1 year when some people might not qualify.
And by the way, it's seniors and elderly. Senior runs from 60 to 80, 80 plus is elderly.
Okay. You say banana, I say banana.
Do you consider yourself elderly?
Well, yeah,
You do?
I consider myself, so AARP does, right? Anyway,
Senior, okay.
move on. So I've never heard that distinction, but,
Yeah, it's 20-year increments.
okay. So that's a goal for the
Next
spring, and I think that's a reasonable timeline.
Yeah.
So we can figure out how to go about presenting it. We can have it done ahead of time.
So when you talk about that, are you going to try to look at the COLA and how it, and, oh, yeah, sorry.
What happened?
Somebody in the waiting room.
Someone join?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Uh-oh. Probably
Welcome
Jane-
aboard.
Probably Jane telling me to shut up.
Again.
I'll hear about this. when I get home. Is there, who's there?
Can you see on there?
Danielle.
That's us.
Danielle somebody.
Daniel.
Daniel or Danielle?
Danielle. Daniel. D-A-N-I.
Hello, Daniel. Okay, so you're going to be bringing us the exemptions
For next meeting. Yep.
As per the current bylaws.
Yes.
Warrant articles.
Warrant articles.
For-
Okay.
With the new age of 65 requirement of that, and the $1,000 for the 41 Ds.
Right.
And then the 17, well, we don't have any 17 Ds at this point
Right.
that have been submitted, and then we'll go through the other ones. We have quite a few 22Es and 22s that,
Oh, we'll stuff it, yep. Good.
so we're going to go through, I was just telling Robin today, we need to get everything together and go through that and get it ready for the next meeting. And then the chapter land deadline is coming up on December 1st, so
Yep.
we've got quite a few chapter land properties as well to go through.
Do we have to do anything with that? Does the board have to do anything with that?
You'll probably have to vote on the new ones. I know we have a few new ones. but
So we
have
can't do that by
renewals.
December 1st, because we're not meeting before December 1st.
We're actually supposed to meet on the 2nd, Monday the 2nd.
Right. That's what I said.
So, but the deadline.
Thank you for concurring.
The deadline is the 1st, so we can't do anything till after the deadline, and then we want to go through.
Oh, the
Yes, I-
deadline to receive? Oh,
submit.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant for,
I should have been more clear.
I should have interpreted better.
Okay, when did you say the next meeting was?
December 2nd, it's a Friday, it's a Monday.
Yeah,
We talked about it at the last meeting.
okay. How did I not get that in there?
November 6th, we decided on December 2nd, because the 4th was going to be a problem. The 3rd wouldn't have been a problem. So we made it the 2nd.
Moved it up. I just didn't put it in my calendar.
And I already have the December 2nd and 18th lined up for this room, reserved.
Oh, we get this room?
Yeah,
How come?
Both.
Wait a minute.
it's just the way it works, because it's on a Monday.
Oh, it's
The
only
second's on a
closed down
Monday.
on Tuesday and Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, so never mind.
So the 18th, we're all set for the December.
We will have to revisit our January schedule as soon as we know what our January schedules might be. I know that yours is still flexible, so, or changeable. So,
Are we going to put together a major event, like with Sarah's dates and things like that? Maybe,
we should probably list those dates that we had for that item.
yeah.
Sleep on a beauty rest mattress.
There's Daniel.
Hello?
Nice. Every year.
We're hearing your
HPV
commercials,
uses
Daniel. Thank you. Okay. Modifications of the assessors, well, we talked about a couple. The presentation,
The presentation,
Carter had the presentation put up,
Did he? Oh, good. Good.
so.
yeah,
It's great.
and then actually the video is
Uh-huh.
was also there, so.
Now, he put it
I
up,
didn't
in-
realize that was going to be on.
did he
the
put it up in
website.
the town file? Or did it also show up in our file?
So you and I had exactly the same question.
I don't know, I can't answer about the town, but I only saw it on our website, so.
It's on the assessors website.
Yeah. Okay, it is.
Congratulations.
I'll send this to you separately. No, they said, when you link in through another medium, and you go to the Lunenburg Board of Assessors, you click on it, and now it tells you that it's not, you can't find it anymore. So I tried that 3 times, and that got me to the state of desperation where I
To
went.
the Assessors Department?
It took me to the Assessors website, and then it says Assessors website, and you go down and it says can't access or something.
On your
So-
phone?
No, my main machine. That's where I get desperate in terms of looking up the
I got
agenda.
there today.
Yeah, me too.
Can't tell you why.
Even got
Can't
to,
tell you why either.
even pulled the agenda from the
So
page.
where'd you steal the software that you're
Yeah.
using as your operating system?
I'm gonna give up. I want to go back to mowing my lawn. I'm riding my tractor. Just leave me alone.
Sorry. I don't know why yours wouldn't, mine worked today.
Yeah, I will send you a copy of it. I just didn't have time, because I want to see the agenda. Okay, what's next?
Anything else on the website?
I think that's it. We just have postponed topics. And then our upcoming meetings.
Yeah. And
We should probably do something about that assessing calendar that we talked about quite some time ago.
Can we do that in January?
We can do that after the bills go out,
That would be great.
just as you start receiving all the abatement requests,
I know.
because it's a never-ending cycle.
It is
Did you
a
notice
never-ending
that?
cycle.
Actually, this year it was compressed because
Yeah. Yeah.
bills went out so late, everything was compressed, we really didn't have any break.
Yeah.
So hopefully next year there'll be some break during the year,
It's been a busy.
during the calendar year.
It's been a busy, I've actually been here almost 8 months. And it's been a very
8
busy.
months now?
8 months.
Started
It's
March,
been-
right?
not long enough, not long enough.
Almost,
That's
next
only-
week.
Yeah.
That's not 8 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Well, that is
is.
8 months. Jesus.
And you got married in that time
Yeah,
too?
I haven't changed, well, I have to officially change my name. I haven't had time to go get my license, so maybe now I'll have time to go get my license now. that
Are you
the
going to go
hearing
back to your
is
maiden name?
done. No, I'm going to go to Chika, and everybody's probably going to have a hard time with that.
Oh, now you got a new one.
Oh, yeah, they might think I'm new.
What'd you do with the last one? She didn't last long.
Well,
Which has been true of some of
my
ours.
email became scammer.
Oh,
wow. Scammer.
I'm sure
Yeah.
people had a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. just a
Anything else
quick
on-
one. Yeah, just Linda, okay, with regard to talking to Kathy about the notifications, the DOR database, do you still want me to do it, or?
Yeah, I mean,
You sent a note to her.
I
did you
no,
send her
I
an
haven't heard
email?
anything back.
She hasn't gotten back to you? I know she's been very busy with,
Yeah,
get her part of the recap done, so,
okay, yeah, because I need to also find out on the 41A. The town doesn't have to accept it, but the town changed the baseline back, was it, you had a document, or some sort of
I
document?
do have a document in my
What
folder
baseline?
that says that Kathy actually gave it to me.
They accepted it
It's just-
4%.
Yeah.
Oh, they reduced the
4%.
reduced the
They reduced the
percentage to,
4%.
that's,
Does
it
that-
doesn't have to be accepted, but that was a change that the town actively
Can I get a copy of
made.
that, so I can
Sure.
make sure?
Yeah.
Because when I talked to Lou, and I said, Lou, hey, did we accept or change? And he goes, geez, I thought it had been accepted, the 41A. And
Well, the town
We
clerk
don't,
confirmed
we don't
it.
have an option to accept 41A.
Yeah, it's there, but we had changed it. And all I want to do is have a piece of paper that says, this is when we change it, because we're going to,
Yeah,
Let's
do our-
didn't you get that information from the town clerk?
I did.
She already has it,
She
yeah.
actually, I have
good,
a
just
copy of it.
don't have it.
Yeah.
And I did find,
Did you send that to all of us?
I can.
I don't know if you did, but if you didn't,
I know
well,
you're-
even if you did, could you resend it to
I
us?
will.
I know
will.
you reported it in at least
Yeah.
2 meetings already,
okay.
but
Yeah.
Sorry.
And my other piece was I attempted a pilot with one individual. He didn't make the exemption cuts. So I've got another individual and his wife, and I'm trying to get a hold of them this week to get, I talked to them last week and see if they will be willing to try. Because everything's confidential, and I'll come over and step through it like we've done before. Let's see if that can work. Because if we can do that, then we have a method, we can establish a methodology to make sure that everything's good. So that's where I am on that piece.
Good. Good. Any policies discussion that we want to have? I know this, it's postponed topics, it'll always be there, so if we don't want to talk about it today, that's okay?
Or just, if I could just add one more. I asked Becky if there was anything in their databases that would reflect the fact that Lunenburg had, and they don't have anything. So I don't know how far back, and she's not really sure even where to look.
For the 41A?
41A.
41A.
For the interest rate?
No, no, the notification of the change on the interest rate. That'd be correct.
That's what,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well,
So,
I have that sheet of paper, and I know Kathy has,
yeah,
I think
And
she has
actually-
the date on when that was changed.
yeah.
right.
So
And what-
she would be the person that would actually have all that information as to when it was adopted.
And she gave us an address to send it into the DOR
Well-
database, but
It's,
So,
it's clear not everything's getting sent on a timely basis.
nothing, she's going to say that there's a possibility of a fault on both sides.
I would say that's a possibility, yes.
And that's okay, you get 2 data point, 2 transfer points, yeah, you can lose.
Okay. Any comment from the public? I see we have some folks on Zoom.
You still have Daniel.
Hearing none. Any comment from the board?
No.
No, I'm good.
Well then, our next meeting is December 2nd
yep.
in this room. I'm going to try to continue to read the shortened version of the welcome to our meeting, but I will declare us, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
And we're early tonight.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Rabbit.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
8:03, my watch says. Wow.
Wow.